Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Trail and Cruise Show. I'm here today with Eileen Johnson. Say hello to the Frogtown community.
Hello.
So tell us, how did you join Mystic Lake Casino?
Well, I joined Mystic Lakes Casino security team back in November of 2014. I was there 5.5 years.
Mm-hmm. 5.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so what happened? You were there 5.5 years, and then you experienced some racism.
Yes. I was called bitches, black bitches, and nappy head by a fellow co-worker officer. His name was Scott Thomas. The whole security team backed him up. I reported it to HR immediately. Nothing happened. He told me how disgusting black people hair was, and I told him what I thought about white people hair. And when I was repeating these comments back to HR, which is her name is Jolene, I don't remember her last name, but you'll get it. I have it. Her name is Jolene. She was highly offended by my comments and told me I could be in trouble. So I was looking at her through a different way also now. And this is HR.
Did she say anything about his comments about black people's hair?
No.
So HR at Mystic Lake Casino was okay with the security guard that works there saying the derogatory things about black people's hair.
Yes. And okay with the black bitch.
And the B word.
Yes. Yes.
Used by a white security guard.
A white security guard. That was a former correctional officer.
Wow.
Yes.
So what did HR do after that?
After prolonging my emails, because after I saw that Jolene was gonna be biased or was already biased, I figured I better put it in writing. So that's when I started the communication with emails. And they have finally had a meeting with me. I filed that complaint, I believe, January 22nd of 2020. And they finally had a meeting with me maybe the end of February, right before COVID hit. And retaliation got worse. I was a podium officer. Everyone knew me. I was at the main security podium when you came in, or I was at the team entrance with greeting the employees because I was a well-respected officer and everybody liked me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, majority of people liked my presence, I should say.
Right.
I'm not going to say they liked me. My energy. So, how did I get off topic?
No, you were talking about what happened.
Oh, when Jolene was highly
after
offended.
HR did after the
I was basically in the meeting. To sum it up, I was told how I could be a better officer, and when I'm good, I'm good, and that was by Matthew Bassat. I'm not sure anymore. He's under the director of security.
Mm.
And he's native. And I was highly offended at him. Like, you is okay with this,
Yeah.
But it's his job. And I done seen it more than me. So,
right.
So I knew I didn't matter. That's why I started taking notes.
So HR is like you come to them with a complaint, then they tell you that you need to do something better.
Well, that came from the from she asked him, did he have any recommendations? And that was his recommendations, that he'll work with me to be a better officer, because when I'm good, I'm good. Basically, I took that as, when you shut up, you all right with us.
Wow.
That's the only time. But I never was quiet. I always stood up for myself. They couldn't stand that about me. They hated that about me. I've always been outspoken all my life. And leaving that meeting, I want Jolene and Matthew to remember, I told them my dad would do flips in his grave if I let this white man get away with calling me nappy head black bitches. My dad he fought in the World War II for this country. I stood alongside with them people for 5.5 years at that place, being belittled by, you know what I'm saying, working there, period.
Right.
Because of their rules and regulations.
What are some of the rules and regulations that you said belittled you?
That's bias,
yeah.
Very biased. And I'm quite sure, well, I mean, it's no one to complain to, so the public don't even have a voice.
Okay.
To keep it real, it's as I went in a circle, chasing this, it ended up right back to their lawyers. You know,
yeah.
I filed with the EEOC. When I filed with the EEOC, they circled around to the tribe, gave me the right to sue, which no attorneys up here want to deal with them. None. So no one would take my case.
Wow.
So I took initiative to call them myself.
Right.
They had the audacity to tell me that they've never heard of being discriminated against. Now, I worked security there 5.5 years. I've seen everything.
Right. They're
going to tell me they've never heard of it. So they end up having their attorney contact me. When she contacted me, we discussed, and that's when you want to get to it. She ended up, she contacted me. She ended up, I ended up getting a attorney then. Attorney finally called me back. She wasn't a tribal attorney, but she was a feisty attorney. She stood up for me, and I appreciate that, because she was the only one who heard my voice. So she communicated for me through that conversation with their attorney, and they act like if they wasn't aware of it. They end up hiring a whole nother law firm.
Wow.
This lady drugged me. Yes, this law firm drugged me. She tried to take everything. It was like a nightmare. Everything that she thought she could say about me, she did. But I was just, Mystic Lake, they just cut out the 5-year anniversary for people for being there for 5 years. We only got a dinner and a pen or something, $1 billion. But anyway, I forget what I was.
No, I said after you said you were there for 5 years.
Yeah,
and
they just cut out the dinners,
right?
For 5-year people, and the director of security and Matt Drupasat just took me and had me to pick another person to go out to lunch. That's how much I was respected and liked.
Okay.
I have, I think, 4 Officer of the Months throughout my 5.5 years. it was only two black women in security. One left and went back to her hometown. She had been there forever. She left. And me.
Wow.
A native female, which she don't want to be involved, but the same officer, Scott Thomas, he called her a bitch. And nothing happened.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yes. And nothing happened. And retaliation, as you could see when I said it was maybe 4 officers.
And this happened at the job?
Yes. Yes. At Mystic Lake Casino, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you go into, so that happened, you start taking things into your own hands. You said you contacted them yourself. They said they never heard about this. After that, what happened?
That's when my attorney, I quit speaking with them. My attorney, she was involved with them. And that's when they hired the other attorney, and she was dragging me. And that's when my attorney presented everything, my awards, my everything throughout my years that I've been there. Yeah. And my attendance, everything. She just really tried to. And so once my attorney rebutted that, they canceled her. They fired her or let her go or whatever. And then they wanted back communications with my attorney.
Okay. They fired their attorney and then reached right out back to you, directly to your attorney.
Yes.
Okay.
They attorneys, the Mystic Lake personal attorneys.
Right.
Fired the firm that they hired.
Okay.
So when she after that, she talking to them. She made an offer while she dragged me also. It was an offer of $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I asked for those people to be fired that was involved. I asked for diversity around there. There's no diversity. There's no leadership. There's no one in charge that looked like us. None. It was only one black supervisor in security that was there. He left.
Yeah.
He was there for a nice amount of time. It's
how many natives?
Just the one that's right under the director.
And the rest is white.
Yes. Okay. My shift, I worked first shift. They retaliated. They did so much retaliation against me. Mm-hmm. I worked first shift. When COVID ended, I worked first shift since I started. They told me I wasn't picked to come back and put me on third shift.
Wow.
Yes. It was a coincidence. June the 3rd, I had a sinus infection and went to the doctor, got my doctor paper, Flonase, and the antibiotics because I had an infection. They called me back to work June the 4th, 2020, and Matthew Bassett told me to put a mask on. This COVID.
Right.
I got a sinus infection. He said, put a mask on, I'll be fine.
Wow. Okay. Didn't say go home or nothing.
This was my first time being called back to work since.
Since the incident?
Since COVID. Since March. And they opened back up, I believe, in May.
Of this year?
Of 2020.
Okay. And the first incident happened in?
2020.
2020. Okay.
Yes. I've been gone from there. This happened 2020.
Okay.
The name calling happened October of 2019. I reported it November, and that's when all the retaliation started, and that's what caused me to write the retaliation letter January the 22nd.
Okay.
But after January the 22nd, I have more retaliation of what they was constantly doing, and I have the proof.
Can you give us some examples about what happened?
For instance, Jeffrey Locke. He was the main supervisor / manager. He wrote up 4 black officers and one was a Hispanic. He wrote us up for leaning while we was on the doors. And I documented Caucasian officers, white officers, doing the same thing, even worse.
So what do you mean by leaning? Oh, so they wrote you up for that?
Just on the door, or just not even. Mine was not standing in the right place, not standing. And he said I couldn't see if somebody fell. Are you kidding me? You stalking me enough through the cameras, as you could see in my. I told you how the supervisors was coming to me, telling me to watch myself. Jeffrey's like watching me on cameras. Did you the emails I sent you?
In there,
okay.
I was gonna dig more because this is the first part of our interview, and then Friday is gonna be part 2 of this interview, and she's gonna go into more of the racism and stuff. Not just that you experience, but just that it's practiced institutionally inside Mystic Lake right now over the past 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got time, they made you an offer.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that?
Yes. After the communication went back to Mystic Lake attorneys, and my attorney, they basically apologized and said, take this $40,000.
Mm.
And I told them no. What about, why do they still have a right to continue to abuse minorities?
Mm.
Why is it okay? Did they get away with this? Why do they still have an income and I don't?
So they were able to attack you, call you out your name, be racist, and then still
make me quit my job.
Made you quit.
Made me quit. Like he said, oh, my manager, Jeffrey Locke, the one that did the most retaliation, mocked me on Facebook, social media. He put his name as Eddie Johnson. He said, how can he be racist when he's my brother? And he have his Trump uniform on. You can flip the next picture. My name is Eileen Johnson. His name is Jeffrey Locke.
His name is Jeffrey Locke, but he made a fake Facebook page named Eddie Johnson.
No, he didn't make a fake. He switched his name. That's how cocky they are. And they so arrogant with getting away with it. That's how cocky. This is his regular page. No, the next picture. It's right there. He switched his picture but kept his name.
So he got the Trump stuff on, the 9/11 stuff happening in the background. This is the person that called Eileen a bitch.
No, that's the one. That's the manager that defended it, retaliated against me.
The manager that defended the other officer that called her out of her name and then started retaliating against her because she wanted some justice.
He cut my overtime. He did everything. He removed me from podiums. He did everything. They switched me to grave shift. They told me to wear a mask when I had a sinus infection and come in for during COVID time. I mean, they also a personal leave of absence during this time when they called me back to work, and I told him I wasn't coming in because of my sinus infection, and my doctor advised me it wouldn't be. They end up he put me on a personal leave of absence on his own and backdated it. I didn't have a problem with putting me on a personal leave of absence. The problem I had was he backdated it until when he called me in when I had the sinus infection. That's the problem. And during that week, I told him, you will have me responsible for a week of unemployment. I will have to repay.
Right.
He told me he didn't care. That wasn't my problem.
Mm.
That's how, and this was Matt Broussard.
So, this last question, and then we're going to wrap it up for today. What they were able to harass you, be racist, call you out your name, and then keep their jobs, their paid positions with Mystic Lake while you were forced to quit. Yeah. What do you want to see happen right now? And then we'll come back and talk about the institutional racism next Friday, this Friday.
Like I said then, I want to see them fired. They need more diversity in there. They need to be held accountable and responsible. I want people to stop supporting them. I know y'all don't feel right when y'all in there, especially minorities. You know, I know you don't. You know,
and we'll talk about that. Well, we're gonna dig into that on Friday, more of that things. But what do you want to see the people? Are those people still working there?
Yes. The only one isn't working there is Scott Thomas, and it's due to medical. They tried to throw it out to my attorney that like he's no longer with us. Yes, it's due to medical reasons. It's not because y'all let him go.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And they backed up Jeffrey Locke after they seen the Facebook pictures, after they seen the all the retaliation, the evidence. I mean, he pointed me excessively with attendance, some I've never had, you know,
so,
that no one else got on the winter days.
Yeah, this is there's some racist things happening out at Mystic Lake, and we're going to talk about it more Friday, more in depth. Not just about the racism that you experienced, but about racism that other staff and possibly other customers are experiencing out at Mystic Lake. Thank you for taking some time out today to come out and talk to us. We're going to have a full hour interview next Friday, so make sure that you tune in to the Troy and Cruz Show and hear from Eileen Johnson about the racism that has been occurring in Mystic Lake and her fight to get justice and equity from being harassed while she was working there for the past 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you.